Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Summer Bash 2017 and Christmas in July. And do I have a good one for you guys? This is the fourth one in this ongoing franchise of pirate films, and I just saw it, so I'm going to review it. And it came out in May of 2011, so it counts. And that's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Now, I saw this movie on cable. I did not see this in the theater. I know some people are mixed on this movie and they hate it, but I didn't. I thought it was a good sequel on its own. As a standalone movie, I think it works very well. The positives, there's a lot more positive than negatives. The film is not that long. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is a lot shorter than 2 and 3. No Keira Knightley, which is great because I couldn't stand her in the first film. The visuals, they have less CGI in this than the first one and the sequels, and I just think it's a good looking movie. The score is still awesome. Johnny Depp is still making me laugh my ass off. The action sequences are good. It has a good pace. It has a sense of humor, which is always good to find in a Disney movie, and it's lighter in tone than the other ones. Now, there are some flaws. Like I think the film, some of the characters get underused. Like the Spaniards are barely in the movie, and King George in the beginning of the film, I didn't care for him. He's like talking to Johnny Depp and saying, "Oh, blah blah blah, I'm the king, blah blah blah," and then Johnny escapes, and Jack Sparrow escapes London and goes on his voyage to find the Fountain of Youth with Angelica, played by Penelope Cruz, who was fine in the film. I thought she was decent. She's a lot less annoying than Elizabeth Swann, and she's her accent didn't bother me. Sam Claflin was fine as the missionary guy. Philip, he did what he had to do. He served his purpose. Gibbs was fine in the film. Barbosa, the references to the first film, like the monkey and the compass, and also the Black Pearl. It was in a bottle, so that was pretty cool. Blackbeard made a very interesting villain. I thought Ian McShane did a good job as Blackbeard, even though half his beard is gray in the film. But we get it. I thought the girl that plays Serena was beautiful. Astrid Frisbee is a gorgeous girl. I love looking at her face. She doesn't have to act too much. She mostly acts with her facial expressions. She has these big, curly lips, which I love that. She has pale skin, beautiful anatomy. And her and Claflin, yeah, they're not Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. Who cares? They're different characters. One's a mermaid and one's a missionary, which is fine. It's something different. The film, the locations were cool. They actually had real sets, not just a bunch of CG. Is it the best of the franchise? No, that's the first one. But this one is not as awful as the critics said. It got bashed by critics, 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think it deserves that. It's a good movie. On its own, it works. It didn't piss me off. I was not bored out of my mind like when I saw Rogue One. That's supposed to be standalone, and it bored me to death. It was more boring than this film. At least I cared about Jack Sparrow in this film. As a lead, he worked for me. I don't see him as a supporting character. I see him as a lead because he steals the show from everybody else in the film. You get to see him do his thing, his hand movements and talking like this, savvy. And he kisses Penelope Cruz like at least once, which is cool. So it squashes the rumors that he was gay because it's stupid. And he had good chemistry with Penelope Cruz because he worked with her in Blow in 2001. And yeah, the film it was a fun sequel. I'm gonna get this movie on Blu-ray one day, despite the hate it gets. And I'd rather watch this than any other Twilight movies. I'd rather watch this than Beauty and the Beast. It didn't feel as tagged on. It was its own thing. It didn't have to copy the first movie. It found its identity. It went for it. And the mermaids were fine. The creature that they sang the song. One of them looks like Dove Cameron, the blonde girl that sings a song, and then they're like, ah! I'm like, that was a little bit disturbing. Those faces that they gave. They look like vampires. And the cinematography was fine at night. They showed the mermaids jumping like dolphins and just trying to attack the guys on the boat. And like I said, there's not a lot of CGI, which is great because not every summer blockbuster needs to have like $200 million budgets, and then it's just a lot of CG, a lot of CG, a lot of CG, right in my face, right in my face, right in my face. No, it has it in small doses, which is great. Like I said, it's a good looking film. The locations on the island, and you know, uh, also when they get to on the boats. The boats are like grand in scale, and the special effects look really good. The performances are top notch. I think they're really well done. There was no one that annoyed me in this movie, which is more than I could say in the first film with freaking Elizabeth Swann. I could not stand her. She was so grating on my nerves in that movie. I just tuned her out every time she was on screen. But here, I don't miss her in this film. I'm fine that it's its own movie. I'm fine it did its own story. I'm fine that it doesn't connect to two and three because they don't mention Will or Elizabeth, which is fine with me. I don't get offended by that. And clearly, the movie was a hit. It made $1 billion worldwide. It made just as much as what Beauty and the Beast made this year, and I think this is better. It's not as boring. It doesn't have a bunch of CG in my face. It's not nostalgia porn trying to capitalize on the original, which I'm sorry is better. You can't do better than the original. This movie already proved it with the first Pirates. That's the best one, without question. And this one was a solid sequel on its own. My friend says it sucks because it's not it's not a good pirate sequel. I'm like, what did you expect after three? Three was the end of a trilogy. And unlike Age of Extinction, which is ungodly boring and way too long and has no one I care about except for Marky Mark, this film, it was not that. It was a fourth film that worked. It did its own thing, and people shit on people on sequels that do that. Scorpion King is different from The Mummy Returns, and it worked. Mummy Returns has way too much bad CG with the Scorpion King. It looks horrible. Here in that movie, they used less CG, which is great, and it worked as a spin-off. This is kind of a spin-off movie because they wanted to do a sequel that was not just a direct sequel to the third one, which is fine with me. Because every pirate story should be different. It doesn't have to be connect the dots, connect the dots, connect the dots. And I had fun watching it. I laughed. I enjoyed myself. I thought the villain was really compelling with his sword that can, move objects just by waving it or just, pointing it. It's pretty cool. It's a great looking movie. Gore Verbinski didn't come back to direct it, but Rob Marshall did a good job because he directed Chicago, so he knows what he's doing. It's well directed. It's got a good pacing. I never was bored. I don't think, yes, they do repeat a couple of lines. Like Sam Claflin says that the girl is beautiful. He says it twice. It's fine. Didn't bother me. Also, Johnny Depp says in one scene that it's a girl, a female, the member of the opposite sex. I get it. But Disney loves to repeat things. Why you think they're doing the same movies in live action? It's called repetition. Look it up. But anyway, On Stranger Ties is not horrible. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed myself. I would love to get this on Blu-ray and shove it in the face of haters because I'm sorry. It is not the disaster that critics thought it was. It's a little bit, it's definitely not as good as the first one, but it's still a hell of a lot better than a lot of fourth movies that we gotten recently. And it's better than the Amazing Spider-Man movies because those are boring. Didn't have a lead that's in front and center. Here, at least Johnny Depp has a lot of screen time, and he works, and he still cracks me up with everything that he does. Despite his problems now, I still think he can carry a movie. You don't need a big budget to carry a movie when you got as much charisma as he does. He has more charisma than anybody in Rogue One. You think freaking Diego Luna's going to carry the remake of Scarface in 2018 or 19? He's not. He's going to be horrible, and the movie will bomb. I guarantee it. But Johnny Depp is still amazing. He can still carry a film. He still can act, and he still makes me laugh, which is more than I could say for some of the actors today. The guy's a legend. He has nothing else to prove. Okay, and fuck the haters. I really enjoy this film. I know my friend Sean's gonna take offense. Don't, dude. I'm not counting you. I'm counting people that the critics that said that this is a mediocre film. I'm fine with it doing something different. A sequel that does something different is not automatically shit. Look at Halloween 3. It did something different. I don't think it's a shitty movie. Look at Civil War. It's a different movie from the first two Captain America movies because it's more an ensemble movie than a single film. Look what Guardians 2 did. Did it copy the first film? No. It did its own thing. And this movie, Homecoming, did something different from the Raimi films and the Garfield films, and it worked in spades. And I think it's one of the best movies of this year. But yeah, I like Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's a good follow up for me. And to be honest, if I never saw 2 and 3, hey, this would be my second film. I could care less. I'm gonna see Dead Man's Chest and at World's End, but sorry, at World's End is not gonna be better than this. It's way too long. I saw the running time. I know it's gonna be a long ordeal. But anyway, I like this movie. To keep a long story short, so this doesn't go into two parts. It's a fun movie on its own. Even if you didn't see the first one, if I saw this first, I would have went back and watched the first three because I'm like, Johnny Depp just he's magnetic. His charisma is unparalleled, and he works as a lead, and he knows what kind of film he's in. He's not doing Shakespeare. He's doing one of his best characters that was done by Disney, and it works. And it's not as insulting as the Disney movies nowadays. I can say that easily. Anyway, On Stranger Tides is good, fun. Go check it out if you haven't. Don't be afraid of what critics say. Critics are wrong. They always crap on sequels left and right. I know from experience. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review. Hopefully, I'll review the other sequels some other time. Not now, though. But anyway, see you guys later.